The saga of Sydney's 5T Gang is a gripping narrative of ambition, camaraderie, and ultimately, betrayal that has captivated the city's residents and beyond. Emerging from the vibrant streets of Sydney, this notorious group quickly gained notoriety for their audacious exploits and a relentless pursuit of power. Their rise to prominence was fueled by a mix of charisma and cunning, drawing in a diverse array of followers eager to be part of something larger than themselves. However, the same qualities that propelled them to the heights of infamy also sowed the seeds of their downfall. As internal conflicts and external pressures mounted, alliances were tested, leading to shocking betrayals that dismantled their once formidable empire. In this video, we'll uncover the hidden story of the 5T Gang, delving into the intricate balance of loyalty and betrayal, the key events that shaped their path, and the valuable lessons to be learned from their rapid ascent and devastating downfall. In the early 1990s, the streets of Cabramatta, a suburb of Sydney, Australia, resembled a war zone. The sound of sirens echoed through the night as Asian gangs violently clashed for dominance. At the heart of this brutal conflict was the 5T Gang, a notorious Vietnamese crime syndicate that quickly earned a fearsome reputation as one of the most dangerous organizations in the city. This is the story of the 5T Gang, a group that played a significant role in the criminal underworld of Sydney from the mid-1880s to the late 1990s. The 5T Gang emerged from the socio-cultural challenges faced by Vietnamese refugees who arrived in Australia following the Vietnam War. Many of these refugees, including young children and teenagers, found themselves caught between the traditional Vietnamese values upheld by their immigrant parents and the broader Australian society in which they were growing up. The clash between these two cultures, combined with a lack of assimilation and deep-seated distrust of authorities, created fertile ground for gangs to form. The 5T Gang was primarily composed of Vietnamese youths, many of whom arrived in Australia as unaccompanied refugee children. According to the Sydney Crime Museum, the gang had around 40 core members, with over 100 lower-ranking members who carried out smaller crimes in the Cabramatta area. The gang's activities included robberies, extortion, and home invasions, often targeting their own community. The fear instilled by the gang was palpable, with many residents arming themselves and fearing to open their doors at night. The name 5T is said to stand for 5 Vietnamese words meaning love, money, prison, punishment, and death. Another interpretation of 5T roughly translates to youth lacking love, reflecting the gang members' sense of alienation and desperation. Members of the gang often lived together in temporary houses in remote suburban areas, fostering a strong sense of loyalty and protection among them. This family-like structure was a core element of the gang's operations. Tri Min Tran, born in Vietnam in 1975, arrived in Australia as a refugee at the age of 7. By the time he was 13, he had already assumed a leadership position within Sydney's 5T Gang. Despite his youth, Tran was known for his ruthlessness and strategic mind. His rise to power was marked by his involvement in violent crimes, including murder. He was suspected of killing 2 rival gang members, a rumor that only solidified his reputation and command over the gang. Under Tran's leadership, the 5T Gang became more sophisticated in their operations, establishing a stranglehold over Cabramatta's drug trade, particularly in heroin. He also made efforts to exert control over local businesses and community organizations. This included extorting protection money from business owners and using violence to intimidate those who resisted. Tran's tactics were effective in consolidating the gang's power and ensuring their continued dominance in the area. However, Tran's leadership was also marked by internal conflicts and rivalries. His aggressive and authoritarian style often led to disputes within the gang, as well as conflicts with other criminal organizations. These tensions would later contribute to his downfall and the eventual fragmentation of the 5T Gang. By the early 1990s, Cabramatta had gained notoriety as the epicenter of Sydney's heroin trade, primarily due to the pervasive influence of the 5T Gang. This notorious gang's dominance over the heroin market was so complete that Cabramatta earned the grim title of Heroin Capital of Australia. The term Junkie Express became a widely recognized nickname for the train line that transported drug users from across Sydney to Cabramatta. where they could openly buy and use heroin on the streets. The 5T Gang's operations were meticulously organized, reflecting a sophisticated and entrenched criminal network. They created an extensive distribution system that involved numerous street-level dealers. These dealers operated in public areas, including street corners and parks, and often conducted their transactions in broad daylight. The gang's ability to maintain such a high-profile presence was due in large part to their use of lookouts, who kept a vigilant eye out for police activity, and enforcers, who handled any competition or threats to their business. The local community was deeply affected by the gang's activities. Residents lived under the constant shadow of fear, as the gang's dominance made any attempts to resist or report their activities dangerous and often futile. The police, despite their efforts, struggled to make a significant impact in the area. The gang's control over Cabramatta's drug trade created a seemingly impenetrable barrier to law enforcement. The supply of heroin to Cabramatta was facilitated by the 5T Gang's connections with international drug suppliers, particularly those based in Southeast Asia. These suppliers played a crucial role in the heroin trade by smuggling large quantities of the drug into Australia. Once in the country, the heroin was distributed by the 5T Gang through their well-established network. This operation ensured a steady influx of heroin into the local market, further solidifying the gang's grip on the region. The immense profits generated from the heroin trade allowed the 5T Gang to reinforce their power and expand their criminal activities. The financial gains provided the gang with the resources needed to maintain their operations and exert their influence, both within Cabramatta and beyond. Their dominance over the drug market was not only a testament to their criminal sophistication, but also the reflection of the broader challenges facing law enforcement and community safety in the area. The situation in Cabramatta during this period highlighted the severe impact of organized crime on local communities. The 5T Gang's operations served as a stark example of how deeply entrenched criminal networks could control and exploit neighborhoods, creating environments where both residents and authorities were left struggling against overwhelming odds. The assassination of John Newman on September 5, 1994, marked a significant and disturbing escalation in the criminal activities of the 5T Gang, dramatically altering the landscape of political and criminal affairs in New South Wales. Newman, a dedicated member of the New South Wales Legislative Assembly, was targeted outside his home in a brazen attack that involved him being shot twice. This tragic event was notable not only for its violence, but also for its historical significance as Australia's first political assassination. John Newman had established himself as a relentless advocate against the burgeoning issues of drug trade and gang violence that plagued his electorate. His outspoken criticism and active campaigns against organized crime, particularly targeting gangs like the 5T Gang, made him a formidable adversary to criminal elements in the region. Despite facing numerous death threats from local gangs, Newman remained resolute in his mission. Remarkably, he declined offers of police protection and even requested the removal of security cameras from his property just 10 days before his murder. This decision demonstrated his commitment to his cause, but also left him vulnerable to the very threats he was combating. The investigation into Newman's murder was fraught with difficulties. The gunman responsible for the attack fled the scene, leaving law enforcement with scant immediate evidence. Tri Min Tran, a well-known figure in the criminal underworld and a leader within the 5T Gang, quickly emerged as a prime suspect. Tran's criminal history and leadership role made him a plausible candidate for involvement. However, investigators faced a significant obstacle. There was no concrete evidence directly linking Tran to the assassination. The case took a further twist when Tran himself was killed on August 7, 1995, by his own associates. The killing was a result of an internal dispute over control of the gang's operations, leaving police without a critical lead. With Tran's death, the investigation seemed to stall, and solving Newman's murder became even more elusive. The breakthrough in the case came unexpectedly. A relative of Tran disclosed crucial information that shed new light on the investigation. According to this source, Tran had been approached with an offer of $10,000 to carry out the assassination of John Newman, an offer he had rejected. The man who extended this offer was Phuong Ngo, a prominent local figure and a political rival of Newman. Ngo's involvement added a new dimension to the case, revealing a complex web of political ambition and criminal influence. Phuong Ngo, born in Vietnam and arriving in Australia in 1982, had quickly ingrained himself in the Cabramatta community and political sphere. His career included a stint as a member of the Fairfield City Council and a high-profile, albeit unsuccessful, independent bid for state office against Newman in 1991. Ngo's political ambitions and his association with the Mekong Club, a nightclub suspected of being a front for criminal activities, including money laundering, further complicated his reputation. His alleged ties to organized crime and his animosity towards Newman, who had publicly criticized Ngo, painted a portrait of a man driven by both political rivalry and criminal connections. The connection between Ngo and the murder of Newman ultimately exposed deep-seated issues of corruption and criminal influence in the region. Ngo's arrest and subsequent conviction underscored the gravity of the situation and the extent to which political and criminal elements had intertwined. The case not only marked a turning point in the investigation into Newman's assassination, but also highlighted the broader implications of organized crime's infiltration into local politics and governance. Phuong Ngo, born in Vietnam and settling in Australia in 1982, swiftly became a prominent figure in the Cabramatta community and political landscape. His early involvement in local politics included serving as a member of the Fairfield City Council. In 1991, Ngo made a notable bid for state office as an independent candidate, challenging the incumbent John Newman. Despite his political ambitions, Ngo's reputation was marred by serious allegations of organized crime connections. Ngo's ownership of the Mekong Club, a nightclub and gambling establishment, became a focal point in the accusations against him. The club was suspected of being a front for illicit activities, including money laundering, with the proceeds potentially linked to local criminal gangs such as the 5T Gang. These allegations cast a long shadow over Ngo's political career, despite his attempts to establish himself as a reputable leader in the community. The political rivalry between Ngo and Newman was intense and marked by frequent confrontations over both political and social issues. Newman was a vocal critic of the criminal activities allegedly associated with Ngo, and his stance on these issues only heightened the tension between the two men. Ngo, perceiving Newman as a significant impediment to his political aspirations, harbored a deep-seated animosity towards him. This animosity eventually led to a dramatic and criminal plot. Ngo was accused of orchestrating a plan to have Newman murdered, a scheme that would culminate in a high-profile legal case. On March 13, 1998, Ngo's arrest marked the beginning of a series of legal battles. The first trial was dismissed. The second ended in a hung jury. And the third trial, which concluded on June 29, 2001, resulted in Ngo's conviction. The court's verdict sentenced Ngo to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, a harsh sentence that underscored the gravity of his crimes and the deep-seated issues of crime and political corruption within Cabramatta. The case revealed significant flaws in the local political system and highlighted the complex intersection of crime and politics in the region. The murder of Tri Min Tran in 1995 marked the beginning of the end for the 5T Gang. Tran's death created a power vacuum within the gang, leading to violent confrontations as different factions vied for control. In the ensuing chaos, gangs like the Red Dragon and the Madonna Boys, led by Madonna Rowe Vanley, a founding member and former deputy of the 5T Gang, emerged. Vanley succeeded Tran, but his leadership was marked by increased violent confrontations, both within the gang and against rival organizations. However, his reign was short-lived. He was murdered in an ambush outside the Cumberland Hotel in Bankstown in February 1999. Vanley's murder, believed to be a targeted assassination, dealt a significant blow to the gang structure. The loss of two key leaders, Tran and Vanley, compounded internal conflicts and weakened the gang's coordination over Cabramatta's drug trade. This leadership void made it increasingly difficult for the 5T Gang to defend its territory against rival gangs and law enforcement efforts. These murders underscored the brutal nature of the 5T Gang, where power was determined by violence and loyalty was fleeting at best. In 2000, following a spate of gangland shootings, New South Wales Police Commissioner Peter Ryan made a public appeal for community assistance to combat organized crime and gang violence in Cabramatta. Ryan's appeal was part of a broader strategy to address long-standing issues of gang violence and drug trafficking in the area. He aimed to break the cycle of fear and silence that had allowed the 5T gang to operate with impunity. Ryan emphasized that effective policing required community trust and support, particularly in areas where fear had historically hindered cooperation. The response to Ryan's call was mixed. While some community members assisted the police, others feared retaliation from the 5T gang. Nonetheless, Ryan's efforts raised awareness about the importance of community engagement in fighting organized crime. His strategy highlighted the need for a multifaceted approach, combining law enforcement with community support and social services. By the end of 2001, the New South Wales Police established the Gang and Organized Crime Strike Force, GOCSF, staffed with 52 detectives. The GOCSF focused on dismantling the 5T gang through undercover operations, surveillance, and targeted arrests. Their efforts were bolstered by legislative changes, including harsher penalties for gang-related activities and expanded police powers for searches and seizures. This crackdown led to significant arrests and convictions, disrupting the gang's operations and weakening their control over the drug trade in Cabramatta. The combined efforts of law enforcement and the internal turmoil within the 5T gang eventually led to the gang's demise. By the early 2000s, the gang's influence had significantly eroded, and many of its leaders and key members were either dead or imprisoned. The police crackdown, supported by community cooperation, restored a semblance of order to Cabramatta. The suburb, once synonymous with gang violence and drug addiction, began to transform. Revitalization efforts included increased investment in public services, infrastructure, and community programs, improving quality of life, and restoring a sense of safety and pride among residents. The rise and fall of the 5T gang underscore the importance of addressing socioeconomic factors that contribute to criminal organizations, providing support and opportunities for marginalized communities, fostering trust between law enforcement and residents, and implementing effective crime prevention strategies are crucial in preventing gang formation. While the 5T gang's legacy is one of violence and fear, it also serves as a testament to the power of collective action and the potential for positive change. The community of Cabramatta has shown remarkable resilience in reclaiming their neighborhood and building a brighter future. The story of the 5T gang is ultimately one of hope and redemption, demonstrating that even entrenched criminal organizations can be overcome through collective effort and perseverance.
This is the story of what happens when dangerous gangsters get arrested, highlighting the bravery of law enforcement and the unpredictable nature of their work on the streets.
You talking to us?
Nah, I'm talking to you.
Okay. Are you gonna fight me? Are you trying to fight me? Is that it?
Something, dog. Take off your motherfucking badge.
Are you trying to fight me?
Don't fucking touch me. Don't fucking touch me, dirty ass. Dirty ass. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's up? Hey, honey.
Yeah.
What's up, baby girl? TP gang on the audio. Fuck it on my face, homie.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Step back. You can step back.
I'm heartbroken, you know? Is it hard? Is it fucking...
In Los Angeles, California, officers from the Hollenbeck Division responded to a call about a battery suspect named Fernando V.S., who is 32 years old. The incident took place in a busy neighborhood, raising concerns among residents and passers-by. A witness, who saw everything unfold, provided a detailed account of the incident. I saw what happened. The victim was sitting in an Audi when the suspect approached. At first, I thought he was asking for money because he walked up to the car, but then things turned violent. He started hitting and spitting on the victim. The victim quickly rolled up the car window to protect themselves.
Guy came around, I thought he was going to ask him for change, and then he just started like swinging at the guy and probably spitting on him, and the guy rolled his window up, and he broke the guy's mirror off, you know?
But the suspect got even angrier. He broke the car's mirror in a fit of rage. It was scary because there are a lot of families living around here. The suspect was yelling at everyone, drinking a beer, and lying in front of the building.
So I guess this guy's a threat, and there's families coming in, and this guy's like hollering at everybody like, "What's up, SA?" You know, he's got a beer. He's laying down right in the front of the building right here.
I was really worried, so I called 911 right away. The police arrived at the scene, but by then the person who had been attacked was no longer there. They had likely left because they were frightened and didn't want to stick around. An officer asked the witness, "How long ago did this happen?" The witness replied, "Oh, it was about 30 minutes ago. You can ask the folks who work over there. They saw what happened and they were really surprised."
How long ago was this?
I'd have to say almost 30 minutes now. You can check the review, you can ask the employees right there, they were in shock.
Despite the victim being gone, the police needed to gather more information and ensure the safety of the area. The witness offered more assistance. "The thing is, there's no one who got hurt here now. We'll search for them and see what's happening. Can you make sure nobody tries to get into our car?" The police officer replied, "Sure thing. I'm all for supporting the police. My cousin works in law enforcement. Is this your car?" The witness confirmed, "Yeah, it's mine. My cousin works with the MET team for the sheriff's office. Whenever I see something like this, I give you guys a call right away."
You make sure nobody jumps in our car?
Yeah, for sure. I'm pro-police, man. My cousin works...
This is your car.
This is my car. Okay. Yeah. My cousins, they're all law enforcement, so, you know. Yeah, he works one of my cousins works the med team for LA Sheriff.
Oh, okay.
Sam 918. So, you know, when I see stuff like that, I call you guys right away. You know, this guy's a threat to the public, man.
The police appreciated the witness's cooperation and help. "Thanks a lot for your help," the officer said. The witness responded, "No worries. Happy to help out." This incident highlights the unpredictable nature of police work and the importance of community support in maintaining safety and order. The officers continued their efforts to locate the suspect and ensure that everyone in the area remained safe. "I'll wait here until you guys show up," said the witness, ready to assist the police further. As the officers tried to manage the scene, tensions were running high. Fernando V.S., the suspect, was not cooperating. He seemed agitated and defiant, challenging the officer's authority. "What's happening? Tell that person to go away unless they're asking for trouble," one officer directed to another person trying to approach the scene. The officer then turned to Fernando, who was becoming increasingly aggressive. "Okay, move out of my way," the officer instructed. Fernando shot back, "Are you trying to start a fight? Don't touch me, you filthy jerk." Another officer tried to de-escalate the situation by engaging Fernando calmly. "Hey, how's it going? TP gang. Get out of here, buddy. You're not even from this area." Fernando was not having it. "Don't order me around. I do what I want. Relax, I'll leave. Don't try to control me. I decide for myself. I don't need your commands. I do things my way. Step back, you can step back." Realizing the need for additional support, the officer called for backup. As the tension mounted, another officer tried to calm Fernando. "Hey, stay calm, stay calm. Relax, take it easy. I'm having trouble breathing, buddy. Just chill, okay? What's going on with you guys? Put the cuffs on him. Keep it simple." Fernando was not in a mood to comply. "Oh man, don't move, dude. Forget all that, man. What's wrong with you?" the officer said, trying to keep the situation under control. Fernando responded with frustration. "It's okay, buddy. You're alright. You almost got me killed, man. Forget you. It's not my fault. It's yours. You just want to sit around. What did I do? What did I do? You just want to sit around. Yes or no?" The officer tried to reason with him. "Forget that. I want to go home." But Fernando was relentless. "You're not going home right now. It's too late. Forget you, man. Let me know what you want to do. You just want to sit around, okay? Forget that. I'll mess you up. You tried to hurt me. How am I going to forgive you for that? You tried to hurt me, man." The officers were faced with a challenging situation. Fernando was clearly distressed, and his behavior was unpredictable. They had to carefully manage the situation to ensure everyone's safety, including Fernando's. The need for patience, calm, and a strategic approach was paramount in resolving the incident without further escalation. As the situation escalated, The officers tried to maintain control and ensure the safety of everyone involved. Fernando VES, visibly agitated and upset, continued to confront the officers with a mix of aggression and desperation. "Hey, we're dealing with something serious here," an officer said firmly, trying to assert authority. Fernando, however, wasn't calming down. "Forget you, man. Forget your family. Forget everyone. You're not a good person. Are you trying to hurt me? I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just hanging out here." Fernando's emotions were clearly running high as he continued. "I'm really upset, you know. It's tough. I'm just trying to be alone and relax. My girlfriend just broke up with me, man. Can't you understand? Do you want to sit around doing nothing? Yes or no? Forget it, man. Get out of here. Forget you, man. Just end it for me. End it. Forget it." Recognizing the need to de-escalate the situation, the officers decided to move Fernando to the patrol car. "Hey, we're going to take him to the car." "Come on," one of them instructed. Fernando resisted verbally. "You're not a good person, you know that. Be quiet, man. I'm talking here." The officer responded calmly. "All right, keep talking then." Fernando, still emotional, continued. "Forget you, punk. What's your name?" "My name is Fernando, bro. I just went through a breakup. I'm sorry if I'm acting out of line. I just walked in on my girlfriend with someone else. How am I supposed to deal with that? I just want to be alone and go home. If you give me a chance, I'll leave peacefully." Understanding the emotional turmoil Fernando was experiencing, another officer tried to empathize. "Hey, it's okay to feel upset, man. I understand. Going through something like that is tough, right? Yeah, it's not easy, bro. I'm still dealing with it, you know? It's fresh, really fresh, bro. I can't handle this anymore, man. I want to end it all, you know. Hey, I wish you would have just ended me, man," Fernando admitted, his voice breaking with emotion. The officer spoke gently. "Let's talk about it. Okay, can we talk about it, buddy? We don't need to make things worse. We'll go to the car right now and we'll talk about it. Let's get you sitting up, okay? Let's go to the car. I got you." With that, the officers carefully helped Fernando to his feet and escorted him to the patrol car. The situation was intense, but the officers' calm and empathetic approach helped to diffuse some of the tension. Fernando VES was arrested for violating Health and Safety Code Section 11,377 and was subsequently booked at a local jail. Despite the difficult circumstances, the officers managed to handle the situation with care, ensuring that no one was harmed. What are your thoughts on how the officers handled this situation? Do you think they could have done something differently? We'd love to hear your opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories like this one.